Hey everybody, today we're out here with the RAV4 again, and we're going to be installing a wiring harness kit for trailer towing. This particular model is a Sequent 7-pin wiring harness connection. There are a few kits that are a little bit easier to install in the 2019 and 2020 RAV4s that will give you a 4-pin wiring harness connection. But if you're going to be towing a trailer with electric brakes, and if you're towing about 1,700 pounds in a vehicle this small, electric brakes aren't necessarily a bad idea. Or if you have a trailer that's going to need constant power, then you're going to want a 7-pin wiring harness connection instead of a 4-pin. And then the last reason, of course, is that all the trailers that I use regularly have 7-pin connectors on them, and I didn't want to bother getting an adapter. So that's why I chose this particular kit. Now, fortunately, in the RAV4 Hybrid, most of what you need access to is just right back here in the trunk. So you don't have the same problem installing these kits that you do have in some newer cars where you're gonna have to run things all the way up to the front under the hood, because the 12-volt battery is back here, there's a fuse block back there, and then of course the turn signals, backup lamps, all that sort of stuff that we're gonna be tapping into is all right here in the rear of the vehicle as well. But at this point, I would say that if you are planning on towing regularly with your brand new compact crossover, then you may want to consider a model that has a built-in wiring harness connection and of course a standard integrated trailer tow hitch as well. Something like a Jeep Cherokee, for instance, would have 5,000 pounds of towing capacity. It would come with a 2-inch receiver if you checked that option box, and a 4 and a 7-pin wiring harness connection all installed from the factory, so you don't have to worry about tapping into your vehicle's electrics. Obviously, the first step after you gather all your tools together will be to remove some of the interior panels in the RAV4. You're going to have to remove the side panels right there in the cargo area. You're going to have to remove this threshold area right there. You're going to have to remove the rear tire, all that to get access to things. And if we move over here to the right side, you'll see that we do have that fuse block right there, and then we have the 12-volt battery back here in the trunk. That is going to make things an awful lot easier. The first thing we need to do is mount the electronics module inside the vehicle. I'm going to use double stick tape for this. You could also use the screw hole if you wanted to drill a hole in the vehicle. And I'm just going to put it right over here on the sheet metal right above the battery in the vehicle, because all the connections, again, are pretty easy to deal with. If you're installing a 7-pin harness kit like this, then you have to decide where the trailer brake harness connector is going to go. You can see it is this 4-pin style connector right there. That's going to need to go somewhere near the driver up front so that we can integrate a trailer brake controller later and you'll have access to the trailer brake functions. Or you can use a wireless trailer brake controller, which is what I use on most of my trailers. This particular one is for a Prodigy wireless trailer brake controller. It's a great thing, and you don't have to worry about installing this particular harness. So I'm just going to go ahead and tuck this out of the way so that way I could use it later if I needed to, but I'm not going to use it in this particular installation. As with most kits, this kit comes with some inline fuses that you can use. You're going to connect those to the power harness right there, and then you're going to connect them to the battery directly, or to a positive side of your fuse block that is directly connected to the battery as well. Now, the reason you want to use these guys and you don't want to try and connect into something like the 12-volt power outlet that's back here in the cargo area is, you notice we have a 30-amp fuse and we have a 15-amp fuse for a 7-pin trailer. So you want to make sure, especially if you're going to be using electric brakes in your trailer, that you have enough power to power those electric brakes, and that 12-volt cigarette lighter outlet is just not going to provide enough. A handy tip, if you don't have access to the proper crimping tool, although I do suggest that you actually get the proper tool, is that you can use a relatively thin screwdriver right like this, and then you can use a pair of large lockjaw pliers right there to actually crimp the connector. Press it pretty darn hard, and then this is going to approximate the same style of crimp that you would get with the correct tool. But again, I do recommend getting the correct tool, but if you don't have access to one, this will work and it won't damage the insulation on these connectors. Now, you should always be using this type of watertight seal connection. So after you've crimped the connection, you should then use a heat gun. Hair dryers may work if you can get a hair dryer hot enough, but I would recommend borrowing a heat gun from someone that has one, and that's going to heat this up and shrink this connector down, make sure it's watertight. For the grounding connection, I discovered that this kit has a component that's just a little too small there. So I'm just going to go ahead and use this bolt hole that's right next to where I need to go. Now, this may seem a little crazy, but I'm sanding the primer off the metal here because I want to have a really good grounding connection, and this is going to give us the best connection. After you do this, if you're worried about corrosion, if you live in an area where that's a problem, you can then go over outside with nail polish or something along those lines to make sure that you don't have any corrosion going on in there. And as always, you should use dielectric grease for connections like this. So since I'm in California, I'm just going to go ahead and stop at the dielectric grease here. So we're now down to the bare metal, as you can see right there. I found the right size bolt to make this connection. And I have some dielectric grease here. I'm just going to go ahead and pop a little bit right there on the hole and on that little ring right there. And then we just go ahead and bolt her up. There, now I have a very good solid ground. Grounding is very important with a lot of vehicle electronics, so you want to make sure you have as good a ground as absolutely possible. Next, we have to connect up the harness that actually goes to the 7-pin connector. This is what's going to go on the outside of the vehicle right there. You connect the trailer to that. That goes to the back of that, and then all of this connects back to that controller. To do that, I'm actually going to be going through one of these plugs right down here in the cargo area. This is right under the spare tire in the vehicle. Now, one of the reasons I'm going to go through here is because these are easily replaceable if you decide you don't want to have your hitch anymore in the vehicle, or if you wanted to have some other kind of connector. Now, the exhaust is just under here. The muffler is under there, but there is a heat shield in between. That should be fine because I checked the rating on the connectors here, and everything should be okay. You can see that we've now pulled that wiring harness through that grommet. Now again, the reason I chose this location is because of the way the underbody in the RAV4 is shaped. There's not going to be a lot of splashing going on here, and if you wanted to reverse this, this is going to be a very easy to access grommet. So you can just buy another one from the dealer, cut that cable, pop another one right on there. You don't have to worry about digging around behind panels in order to get back to it. There are other grommets you could have used, but if you wanted to reverse this process later, they're going to be a lot harder to get to. Now comes the fun part. We have to find out where the wiring harness for these tail lamp modules is. Now, I've located it right over here on the side of the RAV4. You can see I unplugged it right there. And now we have to tap into it so that way the trailer brake controller can send the turn signals, the backup lights, reverse lights, etc. down there to the wiring harness. So we got all these connections here. There's one for the left side of the vehicle, one for the right side of the vehicle, and one for the backup light. Now, the tricky bit in this RAV4 is that the backup light's actually right here in the hatch, so we're going to have to track down that wiring harness connection as well. This is where you're going to want a second person to be involved, so that way they can be turning on the turn signals, hitting the brakes, etc. The next thing we need to do is mount this wiring harness receiver right here on the bracket, and that came with the hitch. Now, unfortunately, that means that we are going to have to cut another hole in this bumper cover, but it's just right down there at the bottom. So we'll go ahead and line that up, pull out the razor knife again, and just cut a small slot here, so that way this wiring harness has somewhere to go. And for this, if you don't cut all the way through, if you're pretty careful to make a square, then you won't have to worry about this bumper cover sagging, because it will have a little bit of additional support at the back. Now, one thing I will comment on here is that although this hitch doesn't really seem to affect the overall ground clearance of the vehicle, and it won't really affect the departure angle too much, it does have a little bit of an effect because it hangs down right there. The way that this bracket is arranged, if I do have a wiring harness connection right like that on there and it's in use and that's open, that's definitely going to affect your departure angle an awful lot more than this hitch right here. Now that we've got everything together, we're not going to put the interior panels back on until we test this, but you can see we have the wiring going over there from one side of the rear end over here to the other side. Again, I did not connect the trailer brake controller harness, which is this little guy right here, because we're going to be using a wireless trailer brake controller, but everything else is set up as it should be. Next thing we need to do, of course, is connect a trailer and then see if all the lights work. Now that we have the trailer connected, we just need to verify the lights. So we'll go ahead and do that. You can see that the parking lights are definitely working right there. And as we come on over to the rear, this trailer's LED tail lights are definitely working. There we have it. That's the hitch install in the 2019 to 2020 RAV4. Again, if you're going to be doing a lot of serious towing, I would probably get something with a hitch built in. And now all we have to do is put the interior of the RAV4 back together. Be sure and check out our towing video of the RAV4 Hybrid. That's going to be coming up very, very soon. We're going to be towing this trailer right here. This trailer weighs 1,500 pounds dry. We're going to put a few hundred pounds in it, and we're going to see how well this RAV4 Hybrid tows. In the meantime, be sure and hit that subscribe button down there on the bottom of your screen so you can see all of our video updates on this RAV4 Hybrid. I'll see you all later.